Hi, and good evening, everyone. My name is Albert, and this is Vlogs About Nothing. Thank you very much for taking the time out of your very busy night to join me. I really do appreciate it. And wouldn't you know, your boy here wants to talk to y'all tonight about why it's important to not own a car. Now, hear me out. You feel me? Link in the description below. There's some really cool videos I want to reference. Moreover, the videos I'm about to reference are just videos that simply discuss the exorbitant amount of money that people are currently paying for their car, and take it from somebody who just recently got out of a Capital One loan payment from just like the last few terrible years of my life. It is pretty ridiculous. It's incredible, actually, that there was a point in my life where I was paying close to $700 a month for a car, back when I had $700 a month to pay for it. And, now obviously I don't have a car. Had to settle that out with Capital One Auto Finance. The credit record and report isn't looking too good, you feel me? But I can't really blame myself in and of itself in that I was, financed a car right at the beginning of the pandemic, literally right when trucks on the lot were selling for $80,000 when just a few months prior they were going for less than half that, you feel me? So I first-handedly got to see the kind of thing that happened during the pandemic where cars just got really expensive and banks were willing to lend money to people like me based on, some income that I had earned over the course of an extended period of time while I was working as a busser at a resort. That was my busser job. And it was an awesome job. I was killing it. It was like one of my favorite jobs in the entire world, actually. Shout out to Tempe Mission Palms, you feel me? Still a great relationship. They're an awesome place, and they have the best breakfast buffet that you could ever possibly imagine. And so, I just don't think that, do you even drive, bro? You feel me? And so let's get into that. Let's really talk about why I don't think it's important to own a car, and moreover, it's kind of a scam. There's another link in the description below that talks about how emissions in and of itself is also a scam. You thought emissions was looking out for the environment. Nope, pretty much just looking out for that good old pocketbook or whatever. Is there such what is a pocketbook? Is that like a wallet or something? Anyways, that's it's just interesting that cars, we don't need them. Link in the description below too to some really cool videos that have been archived here on the internet and involve and or encompass rather like these huge buildings, with cobblestone streets and stuff, you feel me, like old world type stuff, and people are using carriages and horses just fine. And moreover, they have more, like most of the developed places around the world, even if they've gone back from doing the very things that in principle made them the very mega metropolises they are, places like Berlin, places on all over the world, throughout Europe and here in America. It's just interesting to see us go backwards, to start with such a good idea with streetcars and, easily and affordable access to public transportation. That exists no more, I mean, even in really big cities, it's something of a game, I've been in New York City a few times, and, it's an interesting thing, even when public transportation is available, to know that it's pretty expensive, and it isn't always the kind of line that you need, right? Whether it's on a subway or on a bus, if the bus doesn't get to you or the line doesn't go to your apartment in a big city, it doesn't mean that you aren't going to be using those services, right? And so, there's many examples of this all over the country, especially in New York City, where a lot of the historic lines that used to run through different parts of different boroughs, historically speaking, where there have been a large amount of workers, have been closed off. You feel me? Just so that there can be faster trains underground to get people to and from bigger places of destinations that they'd like to go to for either tourism or a better job. No one's sending out any commute lines to normal people jobs, you feel me? And when you live in a faraway place and you're not close to the city, it's sometimes often impossible to get, reliable public transportation. But all I'm saying is that, like, it seems as if, again, we've gone backwards. You feel me? Like, the obsession with owning a vehicle in this country, like, blows my mind. Okay, I'll tell you, it's a lot of freedom, right? It's like that. You hop in a car and you can literally, go anywhere you want in the country, except you need the money to do it. You need the time to do it, right? And so it's this whole, like, really messed up kind of situation, unless, of course, you're well off and money isn't an issue and you don't have to work, you feel me? Or if you work and you get, like, crazy pay or whatever, it's just really not financially feasible for most working class people to own a vehicle. I mean, car payments are out the roof, insurance is very expensive, car registration, emissions, the other scam, all of these various hands that want a small portion of a larger amount of money, is very emblematic of a scam, And so that's all that I'm saying, is that, like, is owning a car a scam? Well, in the modern day, I'd say yeah, just like anything and everything else. 40 years ago, if you had an opportunity to own a car, then, like, that was a good thing. You could afford it. Gas was cheap. Everything else was way cheaper, right? Now just extrapolate the cheapness by multitudes of magnitude, and we end up with, like, some sort of weird formula that tells us, even though inflation says things should only be this much now, instead inflation does us no good and things are 10 times as expensive as they were 20 years ago when you compare it to inflation and stuff. And so again, like, I'm not making this stuff up, I'm just like, why, if your apartment payment is like $1,000 a month and your car payment is $700 a month, I mean, literally, like, you could quite literally be living twice the kind of quality of life, at your living space and in your living quarters than you are currently, because of the, like, the sacrifice that you make to own a car. Because again, it's more of a sacrifice. You end up spending more of your time and being more stressed out just so that you can end up owning a car that is going to be depreciated, like, from the moment that you buy it and drive it off the lot. This is another dumb thing that we do. We go to car lots and we buy used cars knowing that the bank financed us 50G, but we drive it off the lot and it's worth 25. Like, I mean, it's the quickest change of depreciation ever. You feel me? Again, and it's almost, again, like, kind of criminal, kind of a scam, I'm just saying, right? So, I mean, if there's any other way to think of that, it's just, again, you might not think like that if you have ample financial resources to afford the sometimes many vehicles that Americans own. Again, in and of itself, I mean, look outside. Americans own cars, baby, and just more of us don't, that's all. Just a numbers thing. More of us actually probably don't have cars in this country, I just don't know of close to 400 million cars being on the road at any given time here in America. But, for those people that have the opportunity to have many vehicles and so forth and be able to afford all of the maintenance, all of the insurance, all of the registration, all of the car payments, or if you're going to pay off the car, you got to pay it off at one time in one principal amount or whatever, in one lump sum. So, owning a car might not be, the smartest thing in 2025. And it shouldn't be. It really shouldn't. I mean, all of us talk about saving the environment, CO2 emissions, and, all these different things, but yet we simply don't want to do the very biggest thing that makes all of the causations to global warming and stuff amplified or made faster. We could just stop driving cars. Has anyone ever thought of that? Like Musk fanboys and Musk, you feel me? Did you ever think that, like, maybe you could just spend all of that fortune and make viable commuting options for the population at whole, at large, instead of just mining lithium to put into cars that are just essentially like big remote control things that don't last very long. And holy macaroni, just so much as I am a fan of an electric car, I mean, there's zero resistance, you feel me? These guys get it. You can go really fast, very fast, for a very short period of time. So, all that I'm saying is that, like, instead of mining lithium in Central Africa and making, millions of people's lives terrible, as a result of said extraction of lithium, maybe we could just use things we have around us and build better, more ample, more robust public transportation systems. There's places all over this world that are doing way more creative things than our country currently is. Places in Brazil, places in South America, they have gondolas, like, as a part of their mass commute, like commuter transportation. Like, do you know how sick that is? Like, a group of human beings actually decided to go through with an idea that made sense. And it not only makes sense, but it works for everyone. And it is incredibly efficient. And, not to mention that places like Mexico City also have some of the most robust forms of commuter transportation in the entire world. So far as I know, you can get from anywhere to anywhere in Mexico City without a car in 15 minutes. And yeah, that's a brag because we're talking a distance of 20, 30 miles. You feel me? Which in a mega metropolis is a big deal. It's incredibly difficult to find governments, either locally or nationally, that support the kinds of ideas that are, I wouldn't say progressive, but more just like common sense. If you want more people to work and stuff and pay taxes and contribute to good old Uncle Sam's pocketbook, then you got to be willing to do some of those things. And I don't know. I just am not a fan of cars. You feel me? And that's weird because I don't mean that. Like, I love cars. You feel me? Like, I was born in 1987. I love IROCs. I love T-Birds. You feel me? Like, I love classic cars. I love PT Cruisers. I do. I like cars. I just don't see them being of a huge benefit to myself or anyone when, your entire life is basically always going to be, within the same sort of distance that it was prior to you having a car. And when you have a car, you end up incurring more expenses. You end up going more places. You end up being more sad that you can't afford to go to nicer places. There's a lot of things that are involved with a car. And so, I don't know, I just am thinking that as Americans, maybe we shouldn't leave our children, and grandchildren with cars that want to blow up, or moreover, inefficient gas-burning vehicles, right? Petroleum-burning stuff, even though I've been an advocate, actually, for the petroleum industry just so that they could make it more efficient, because it would be pretty cool if, you could get, 50 miles a gallon, of drive time in your car for really cheap. That's not a bad thing, again, if it allows people to be more empowered and so forth, but it's got to be efficient, it has to be efficient. So that's all that I got to say about cars. End of vlog. Hey guys, I hope that you guys are doing freaking awesome. You feel me? I've been trying to stay a little busy. It's been working out, so that's good. It's good. It's a good thing. I am actually, I'm not having a lot of free time right now. Not so much as I've had anywhere at all remotely in the distant and or near past. So, I'm just getting back into being my best active self, and I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I hope that you guys had a really good and beneficial and productive week. I know that, again, I was tired, just a couple weeks ago. I was really tired. My whole body was just not, it had just recovered. And so now I am here and feeling a whole lot better. Jesus Christ. Sometimes I work myself just a little too hard, even if I don't let it off, I just... sometimes I'm a busy guy, and just because I'm acting like it's all good, it's sometimes it can be stressful. So I've been hanging in there, Avi, and things are going good. And obviously, I really appreciate you guys watching my videos and hitting the thumbs up and doing all the things that you guys do when you come on over to this side of the YouTube dark hole and you decide to watch my show. Seriously, so thankful. And I can't wait till I'm able to get better equipment, that's a pretty big goal of mine right now, so that I can make better videos. I could make, that's my whole goal in life right now is to make better videos. I swear to God, I know how. I just have not been, privy to the kinds of resources that one requires to make these things happen. So in the meantime, we've been doing this whole thing, and it's been fun, and this is going to be a part of my life forever. I am married to this vlog, and honestly, sometimes, again, like, I just, sort of question my own my own sort of place in the universe, seeing as though I'm such a huge advocate and fan of doing what I do, and I want to incorporate a lot more. And they tell you when you get older, you get like dumber and weaker or something. Like, I feel like as I get older, I'm just starting to like blossom. I'm just like, oh, okay, I'm grown up now. It's taken me almost 40 years, but I'm getting there. And I'm not, I already slight myself ever so eloquently when it comes time to bash. I should also be willing to give myself a little praise every once in a while, right? All within that same sort of framework. So that's just kind of what I've been vibing on. The sun hasn't been too kind to me, you feel me? But, like, that's okay. My fair complexion is reaping the benefits of looking like a baked bean. So that's cool. I'm cool with that. The small exchanges and sacrifices we make. I am really skinny though, so I'm hoping that my skin forgives me sooner than later, because I did wake up in an uncomfortable amount of and some discomfort, because like my shoulders and just like this whole thing, my bony shoulders. Yeah, that's all I got for you guys tonight. I hope that you guys have an awesome and safe weekend. You feel me? If you're working a summer job, go get some. If you're just doing what you normally do all year round at your job, keep getting that. Continue to improve yourself. You feel me? Like, forget haters. Do what you do. Work on yourself. Stay focused. I promise, if you do that, you're putting yourself in a better position than you would if you did not do those things. Trust me. I know this stuff. Look at me. I'm a complete loser. I'm almost 40 years old. I can't even, I'm just like, Jesus, Albert. It's like, why? Why couldn't I be this focused and, on point with things when I was in my early 20s? It's because I was doing other things in my early 20s, There was no time for it. I have no regrets. I just wish that life was a little longer. I'm already wishing this, and I'm just 37. I just wish that, like, your 40s were like your 30s. You feel me? And that, like, your 50s were like your 40s. I just need, like, an extra 10 years of this kind of way of feeling and this kind of energy, you know what I mean? To, like, really actually finally make a positive impact on my own life, to myself. So you guys are all watching this in real time, right? And it's an interesting thing to watch. I think it's pretty interesting. I'm living this life. I think it's pretty interesting. And I'd have it no other way. Again, there are a couple of things, a couple of very, very important big things that I'd like to have in my life. You feel me? But that's just not in the cards right now. And it hasn't been, so I will continue to stay focused and try to do what I can to become the best person that I know that I can be. And I advocate for y'all to do the same. You feel me? Don't give up. Don't let haters get to you. Again, just do what you gotta do, and all while being kind to everyone and just understanding that you want to be treated good, so you should probably treat people good too. Ain't no golden rule there. It's just kind of, again, some common sense. You feel me? Like, I want to be treated good, so I should probably treat people good. And I'm assuming that works for everyone, This is why I like going to Chick-fil-A, just because when I walk in the door, people acknowledge my existence. Thanks, Chick-fil-A. So, hey, you felt like that too, though, right? You go to Chick-fil-A, you feel pretty good when they're like, hey, welcome to Chick-fil-A. It's sort of like, hey, cool, what's up? Thanks, I'm welcome in Chick-fil-A. Let's spend $20 on a chicken sandwich meal. Anyways, on what is purportedly chicken. Who knows? Whatever. I just had some Chick-fil-A. It's all good. I'm a fan of fake chicken, I suppose. When they bread it in the stuff that they got at Chick-fil-A and put it in some MSG, I guess, call your favorite fanboy, That's me. Anyways, I hope that you guys have a really awesome night. Be safe out there. It's weekend. I'm fairly certain it's a weekend. It is. It's a holiday weekend. God dang it. So definitely be careful, okay? Don't drink and drive. I hope you guys have a really good night. Thanks a lot. I'll see y'all tomorrow, okay? Bye.